thought I saw Chief's here. You want to reschedule the grand opening ribbon cutting ceremony so I can go? That'd be great. I'm teasing. I wish I could be there. This is a sad face.
Are we ready, folks? I'll mark you then. How about that?
Okay, Fall Festival, I'm in.
I'm sorry to hear that.
21st. No, it's, yes, next weekend.
I'd like to call the meeting order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please be seated. May we have roll call?
You certainly may. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Councilmember Kelly.
Present.
Councilmember Miller.
Here.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Lane.
Here.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Vice Mayor Best.
Here.
And Mayor Croft.
Here.
Full house.
Looking at the agenda, if you'll bear with me, we have 3 proclamations that I have to read, and I'll probably be stumbling very well by the end of this. So, the first one is Proclamation Arizona Cities and Towns Week, October 15 to 21, 2017. Whereas the citizens of Chino Valley, Arizona rely on the town to experience a high-quality life in our community. And whereas cities and towns in Arizona work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to deliver vital city services such as fire, police, emergency medical response to ensure safe communities. And whereas cities and towns in Arizona also provide services and programs that enhance the quality of life for residents such as parks, utilities, street maintenance, sanitation, and recycling services, libraries, community centers, and recreational programs. And whereas it is important for the town of Chino Valley to continue to provide the excellent delivery of services and programs that our citizens have come to expect in our community. And whereas it is one of the responsibilities of town officials to ensure open and accessible government through frequent communication with citizens using various avenues and means. And whereas through participation and cooperation, citizens, community leaders, local businesses, and municipal staff can work together to ensure the services provided by Chino Valley can remain exceptional elements of the quality of life of our community. And now thereof, I, Darrell Croft, Mayor of the town of Chino Valley, join with the League of Arizona Cities and Towns and fellow municipalities across the state of Arizona in declaring October 15 through 21, 2017 as Arizona Cities and Towns Week. There. Take that. One down. Proclamation, Rural Communities of Arizona Day, September 28, 2017. Whereas the town of Chino Valley is proud to be a rural community in the state of Arizona, offering our unique rural way of life to the fabric of the state. And whereas rural Arizona communities represent 25% of the state's 6.4 million population with a wide variety of cultures, traditions, and histories. And whereas as rural Arizona contributes $29 billion to the overall state of Arizona's gross domestic product, and whereas the topography of Arizona is enriched by the diversity in landscape, from the Grand Canyon to Zacuaro National Park, from the agricultural fields to snow-capped peaks, and whereas the people of rural Arizona are proud to perform key leadership roles throughout the state, benefiting not only the rural communities but the state as a whole. And whereas from statehood, Arizona economy has benefited through specific economic development opportunities, unique tourism attractions, and connection to higher education throughout our 3 state universities. And whereas the majority of rural Arizona utilizes the area code 928, now therefore I, Darrell Croft, Mayor of the town of Chino Valley, do hereby proclaim the 28th day of the 9th month, in other words, 9/28 of 2017, as Rural Communities of Arizona Day in Chino Valley, Arizona. and urge the people of the Chino Valley community, as well as throughout the state, to reflect upon the contribution of the people from rural Arizona and the importance rural Arizona plays in quality and characteristics that make the state of Arizona great. And rural Arizona does do that. All right, that's number 2. I'll come down here and this young lady will come up since she's been involved in this particular proclamation. I don't think I need to speak, but we'll just stay right
They
out
won't
here.
be able to hear you on the phone if you can't, or on the TV if you don't listen.
Gotta- Do they really want to hear me? Proclamation, Bullying Awareness Week, October 22nd to 28th, 2017.
I don't think it's on.
Whereas aggressive behavior patterns have been around since the beginning of recorded history and have adversely affected civilization since society began.
Turn it on.
It's on.
Oh, then that one's dead.
That was dead.
Sorry.
Testing.
Yeah, we can hear that.
Thank you. Bullying Awareness Week, October 22nd to 28th, 2017. Whereas aggressive behavior patterns have been around since the beginning of recorded history and have adversely affected civilization since society began, and whereas bullying occurs not only in the schools, but in the workplace as well, a bit the more societal accepted forms, and whereas bullying is not restricted to any specific race, gender, or physical size, but rather transcends all three, and whereas aggressive behavior patterns, if left unchecked, can lead to disastrous consequences, and whereas recognizing that such behavior are most easily discouraged during the early childhood years, and whereas recognizing the parents, not the schools, the government, or society, have the most profound effect on discouraging such behaviors during childhood years. I therefore, I, Darrell Croft, Mayor of Town of Chino Valley, do hereby proclaim October 22nd to 28th, 2017 as Bullying Awareness Week in Chino Valley, Arizona, and call upon the parents and guardians of the children of Chino Valley to set an example for our children and to teach their children to respect the basic rights of those around them and to discourage bullying behavior both in the school and in the workplace. And I'm going to present this to you since you were, what? Well, I'm going to give you an opportunity to say something. Sure, go right up there. Let me. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mayor Darrell and council member, for helping me to bring awareness to cause of bullying. 5 years ago, I got involved with the Million Misfits Sock March because I was bullied by an adult in our community. I have stayed passionate about the subject because I still see bullying in our community on a regular basis. Many times the reason someone gets bullied is because there is something different about them. This difference is not bad. Being different is part of being a person. If everyone was the same, it would be a boring world. I hope everyone will join me every Tuesday and Friday this month in wearing mismatched socks to show your support and appreciate of differenceness.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. All right. And that wasn't because of bowling. Her knee went pop, so she has to recover from that. Item D, presentation of Larry Green, CEO of West Yavapai Guidance Clinic regarding the clinic's new crisis stabilization unit located in Prescott Valley. Good afternoon, good evening, Larry.
Good evening.
Mr. Mayor, council members, my name is Larry Green. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the West Yavapai Guidance Clinic. We serve western Yavapai County, Prescott Valley, Chino Valley, Dewey Humboldt. We have 11 licensed service locations, all licensed and nationally accredited. I'm here tonight to share some preliminary information about our new program in Prescott Valley, Crisis Stabilization Unit. This project has been a 2-year journey for us. We've invested nearly $2 million as an organization in this program, and we've called it in many presentations across the communities the missing link. We have several 24-hour, 7 days a week programs. We operate a level 1 psychiatric hospital in Prescott Valley, substance use disorder treatment, as well as group homes that operate 24 hours a day. The Crisis Stabilization Unit has taken off like a rocket. It's located on East Ridge Drive, right behind Tractor Supply in Prescott Valley, right off Highway 69. And the purpose for that program was primarily jail diversion. For law enforcement, we've worked for the past couple of years with a law enforcement coalition to really set up the daily protocols. Chief Wynn was involved in those meetings, as were the other law enforcement jurisdictions. So I'll be brief, but at this point, our organization serves over 7,000 people annually. We have nearly 400 employees, and I already mentioned the number of sites that we have. So we appreciate the opportunity to share this information, as we believe this program is value added to each and every community in the region. So thus far, 82 people have been dropped off at the center that has a dedicated law enforcement entrance. And the goal there is for law enforcement to get back on the street, doing what they do best, not working with folks in crisis. So 82 people, we opened that program on June 21st, just a few months ago. 82 people, and on average, it takes a law enforcement officer about 5 minutes to drop somebody off, and we take it from there. So ultimately, we've had through our doors 665 people. The front part of the program is an outpatient program. We do a crisis triage on the front end of the program. The front end of the program, which is licensed outpatient, also has paramedics. And the paramedics operate to assess medical acuity. Our partner in that process is Yavapai Regional Medical Center. There are employees, however, Yavapai Regional Medical Center provides the supervision from the ED for the paramedics. So that in and of itself is very unique. The program is to divert people from jail, but also to divert people from the emergency department that are in crisis that we would end up treating anyway. So 665 people in just a few short months. That's why I mentioned that it's taken off like a rocket. We have 10 23-hour, 59-minute crisis stabilization chairs, and they're like very large recliners. We have medical staff services, nursing services, medication services, behavioral health techs on duty 24 hours a day. In fact, we hired an additional 50 staff to staff that program. So at this point, I'd say the program is getting a very successful start. We have lowered, in the month of September, the folks that have gone to the ED by Yavapai Regional Medical Center's data by 30%. So our goal there is to have the people at the right level of care that are in crisis, and the emergency department isn't likely that place. It's a place where they can get services to deal with the crisis, which could be suicide ideation, it could be relationship breakup, it could be opioids, it could be alcohol, it could be a number of different things. So the address for that program is 8655 East Ridge Drive in Prescott Valley, again, right behind Tractor Supply. It's a 6,475 square foot building that we built out from really a warehouse. It's the old building that used to be Copper State Nut and Bolt Company. Okay, so for those of you that have potentially visited that facility, how can the community help? Share the word. If you know somebody that's in crisis, we serve anybody and everybody in the region on crisis services. There is no eligibility for crisis services. Now, for some of the other services we provide, there has to be eligibility for those services. Another way you could help is through tax credit donations. Single person, $400, $800 for a person that's married filing jointly. That would help a lot. The operating budget for that program is into the millions of dollars. So that is my presentation. I promised I would be brief, but I can answer any questions that you may have.
Question?
Yes, sir.
Does it cost a person, if you have someone that's in psychological distress and you bring them there, is it going to cost them, or do they have to have insurance?
No.
Okay.
If you're in crisis, you can come in. We have state funds that we can apply towards that. The crisis stabilization chairs, somebody can stay in those 23 hours, 59 minutes, and then we assess from there, is the crisis stabilized, or do we need to potentially enroll them, or do they have access to other services that may not be covered under that first crisis assessment and stabilization?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else? Mr. Green, thank you very much.
Just one, real quick.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh,
Sorry.
she did pop up out of the corner.
Have you partnered with the VA as far as mental health crisis transferring?
We jointly serve a lot of veterans in our community, and being a veteran myself, that's very important to me. So we do whatever we can to work jointly and collaborate with the VA whenever possible.
Thank you.
Mr. Green, thank you very much for what you do, and you and your staff. It's greatly appreciated, and it's tough work, I know.
We appreciate the opportunity to share what we view as very good news.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Item C, Juliana Goswick, President and CEO of Big Brothers and Sisters, is going to be pushed to the next meeting. She couldn't make it tonight. So we'll go on with Dr. Ron List, Vice President for Instruction and Student Development regarding Yavapai College. Good evening. How are you, Doctor?
Good evening. I'm doing very well. Let me pass out a folders if I can.
Thank you.
So you're gonna,
It's okay.
you're gonna tell us how the college is doing tonight, huh?
Pardon?
You're gonna tell us how the
Oh, yeah,
college?
we're gonna tell you all about how the college is doing. We're doing great.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
See that?
Want you to notice I can count. I came with just the right amount of folders there for you all. But thank you for having me, Mayor, council members. This is a opportunity we like to take at least once a year, sometimes twice a year, most often, to come and talk a little bit about what we're doing to college, what's happened, to address any questions you might have along the way as well. But I'm pretty excited about some of the things we've done last year. The last time I went around to other councils, we were talking about all the buildings we were going to open and the new programs we were going to do. And I can come today and say most of those are open and we're running. And one of the ones I really want to highlight with this group in particular is our Allied Health program in Prescott Valley. And the reason to highlight that is a number of students that come from Chino High School take advantage of that. And it's been a wonderful relationship there. And but that's a new center. It's open. And I'll start off by inviting you. We're doing our grand opening ribbon cutting on October 24th. So if you are available and want to come down and see a wonderful Allied Health Center, please do that. But we've also opened a culinary program in Sedona. We've opened a new performing arts center in Prescott itself, and we've moved our art program in Prescott to a new location. So we've done a lot of those kinds of renovations and movement. We're proud. The other thing and how we're doing is kind of an interesting or new, great one. So I've been there a little over a year, so I'll take 100% credit for this. For the first time in 6 years, we actually increased enrollment by a little over 1%. 1% doesn't sound a lot, but when it is going up instead of going down, it's great news for us. So in your packet, just briefly, we do this when we come out. We have an update from the president. So she's talked about a few things that are going on, and this actually was printed a little while ago. So it invites you to some events in September, which if you can figure out how to attend, great. I don't think you will. We also we put this out each year, which talks about what's going on with the college. It talks about the cost advantage to going to Yavapai College to get programs started. And the other real important piece in here, and I'd invite you again to attend, our YC Performing Arts Center has a great lineup of events as well, so I'd invite you to that. Outside of that, we're staying, as I say, we're up 1%, which means we're a little over 7,000 students are enrolled this semester. So it's quite a good size operation, and that's across the entire county. But as I said, one of our biggest enrollment boosts has been really our work with the high schools. And when we come out to the communities and see that, it is fantastic to do that. And we get a lot of enrollment. This is one of our biggest enrollment areas is Chino Valley itself. So that's for there. So I come for two reasons. One is, what else can we do for you? But also to thank you and thank the town for embracing the college the way it does and being able to, for us to continue to deliver the services. I really like the notes in here that talks about the community college, or Yavapai College, is about a 76% tuition saving over going to one of the universities to start with. So if, we encourage that to happen. I can tell you that I'm working with not only Northern Arizona University, but now with Arizona State University to actually bring the third and fourth years, as well as potentially master's degrees and doctoral degrees into Yavapai County. And they've now received accreditation permission to deliver in both Prescott and Prescott Valley. So trying to bring more services, trying to help the hometown. And one of the big advantages to doing that, and what I really like about it, is the more we can deliver the education in the region, hopefully our students will stay in the region and prosper and be able to do those things. So that's good. Our Regional Economic Development Center is the other branch of the institution that really helps generate and attract new organizations and businesses to the county, and we do that countywide. And we've been without our Economic Development Center director for a while, and I can't give a name yet, but I can tell you within the next few days we will announce, and within the next month or so we'll have a new economic development director on board. So we're happy and pleased to be able to announce that as well, and I'm sure they'll be out here to interact with the with Chino Valley and with the council itself. So again, I think you know us pretty well, but I'm happy to answer any questions or any lingering thoughts you have about the college, or some things that I can help you with or bring forward.
Do we have anything on this side?
No.
Yes.
We were at an open house at the campus out here on Old Home Manor, and that was very enlightening, and all your specialty or specific areas did a very nice job, very enlightening and informative. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for coming, making your presentation. And we are invested in the college, and they're invested in Chino Valley, so we support and we need them very desperately out here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank
Have
you.
a good evening.
Item G, presentation by Gary Kellogg, Interim Director regarding Greater Prescott Regional Economic Development, GPREC. After reading all this stuff, my tongue is gone.
You did great on
Hi,
the
Gary,
proclamation.
how are you?
Good. You did great on the proclamations. So, Your Honor, Mayors of the Council, I'm Gary Kellogg, and I'm the Interim Director for GPREP, and that's the Greater Prescott Regional Economic Development Partnership. It's a pleasure to follow Dr. Liss. I'm a real fan of community colleges, and I will say one thing. You all have one of the best. That CTE center for training and stuff in the facility is beyond anything I've ever seen, especially what we don't have in Mojave County. So, but I just wanted to update the council and all of you just a little bit on where we're at. I joined up here as an interim director about the end of the end of July. I work 3 days a week. My partner is Ginger Johnson. Many of you know her. She has a good background in training and other things like that and personnel. And so we've had a lot of work to do in the last few months. And one of the things that we really tried to do was make sure that, number one, we, after the position had been vacant for about 9 months to a year, to make sure that we had the housekeeping cleaned up. So we made sure that the accounting was up to date. We are currently updating the website. We are not totally revamping it. Everybody spent a lot of money on that website, so now it just needs to be updated, a little more user-friendly, mobile-friendly, and so we're in the process of completing that. We hope that would be done in the next 30 to 45 days. We also went through in the accounting, insurance, made sure that all those things were in order. One of the things that we've been doing is certainly meeting with councils like yourself to help folks understand that we do represent the region, and so in the case of all four of the communities, and I have here just, and I'll pass them out when I get done here. These are the recent update in our marketing material, and so one of the things that I think that I certainly can be helpful, and Cecilia's on our board, and she's invited me to attend your meetings with your business park. In my previous occupation, I was the Economic Development Director for Lake Havasu City. And just by way of some background, we were out of industrial land. We needed to build a business park. We did, in conjunction with the city, like you did through an EDA grant, and then we at the partnership down there in Havasu took the park over. And we bought the land from the city on a prearranged agreement. And so I've offered my services and our experiences in owning a park. We were small compared to what you all have undertaken with your acreage. We were 19 acres, but by the time we got through with the Army Corps of Engineers and the EPA, we were down to 12.9 acres, and most of that all property was chewed up in washes and water retention basins that will never see a drop of water in history. So, but nonetheless, it works. But I'm sure I can always be happy to share some ideas with you. The one thing I think that we can be of big help, certainly to the town of Chino, is that we can and really should be your economic development arm. So we can look out for you. The other two communities, I share that with their economic development people. So one of the things is I can certainly keep Celia and her staff informed about leads that we get. And we're currently revamping our marketing plan, and I'll present that next Monday at our next board meeting and on our recruiting efforts and things like that. So that's a real brief update. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm enjoying the weather immensely. So I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have, council members. Or okay.
Questions?
No.
Okay.
Mr. Kellogg, thank you very much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
And come back and visit us again.
We will.
All right. Thanks, Gary, for your support.
These are just the recent
Thank
updates
you.
of the marketing material, and we're refurbishing it all. So.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Nice presentation.
Okay, let's go on to item 3, call to the public. Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council that is not on the agenda. Public comment is encouraged. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. The total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration, a decision at a later date, or responding to criticism. Is there anyone that would like to speak at call to the public? Of course. Please come up and give us your name.
All right, thank you, Mayor and Council. My name is Huryaksha Gregor Knauer, Cherokee Drive. And I didn't prepare a statement like last time, but I'd like to invite everybody to a presentation by a rocket scientist. It's over in Prescott. later this month, on the 28th of Saturday, the 28th of October. Rocket a research scientist, rocket plume and atmospheric chemistry. It was her specialty. She's retired. Patty Schaefer. And she's presenting on satellites, rocket engines, and the Holocene. This is a powerful presentation, slides and video. And she says it's, I saw a preview. It could easily fit or fill three hours, but she's digested it down to about 45 minutes. And there'll be question and answers. It's at the public library, Prescott Public Library, up in the training lab. It's on the top floor. Saturday, the 28th of October, this year. And I put some flyers out there in the hall. And it's at 1400, 2 p.m.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Please come. Everybody's invited. It's free.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it for bringing the information. Response to the public. Response to the public is an opportunity for the mayor.
Did you have one more?
Okay.
You won't recognize Tom. I'm ashamed of you.
I had breakfast with Tom. I don't want to talk to Tom again tonight. Yeah.
Tom Armstrong, 2160 Mojave, Chino Valley. During the past few months, Mr. Mayor and council members have had the pleasure of seeing, watching, and hearing from other council chamber meetings across the Quad City area. At the end of these things, especially in some areas, these council members and mayor sneak out the back, look like thieves in the night, take it off. So I'd like to commend this council and this mayor for staying afterwards and talking and meeting, greeting people. It's something that needs to be done in all these communities, and I appreciate it here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Tom.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. I take back anything I said.
Make him buy breakfast next time.
Yeah, that's true. Anyone else? Are we sure now? Okay.
I can go on.
Let's go on in response to the public. I think I started on that, but I think I have one response. There were some information that was put out at the last meeting, but one person wanted a response, and this concerns about the small density of the proposed West Meadows development. Although the general plan written 2013-14 has a land use designation of medium density residential, 2 acres or less for this area, the property was rezoned 10 years ago to 2007 from AR5 to SR 0.16 pad, single family residential, but with a 9,000 foot minimum lot area requirement through the use of a planned area development PAD overlay. Just east of the proposed project is a large section of land zone, .016, as well. The underlying zoning for the property was already there, therefore the entitlement to the property already exists, and the applicant has the right to develop the property. This housing offers an alternative housing environment for the population over 55. The U.S. Census has said approximately 31% of Chino Valley's population is 65 and over. So the way I look at this, it provides a very valuable housing effort for our folks that are 55 and over. Any questions? Concern? Okay.
No.
Let me move on.
That's good.
Current events, summaries, and reports. This item is for information only. The mayor or any council member or town manager may present a brief summary or report of current events or ask a staff member to provide the same. Presentation on information requested by the mayor and council will be made and questions answered. No action will be taken. I'm going to start off with, remember there's a study session next week, next Tuesday evening, here for the council, and anyone that would like to attend. The town is hosting the chamber here, in the chamber, on Tuesday, I think it's the 25th, Wednesday 25th. So if you have the evening, come by and help us host the chamber here.
Okay.
25th, and it starts at 5:30.
Yeah, 5:30. It's a
And
chamber mixer.
17:30 for the Marine over here, so he'll understand it. Okay, that's all I have. Anybody else?
I'd like to announce The Marines will be celebrating their 242nd birthday this year, and we're going to have the event at the American Legion. It'll be on the website, posters, flyers, and let's see, what's the other electronic device? Website, Facebook. And if any questions, please ask me. Thank you. The mayor's our guest of honor.
That's why you won't go, so. Now, I'm looking forward to it, and it's gonna be fun. A sailor with a room full of Marines, that should be really interesting.
All services and anyone that wants to find out why the Marine Corps is the way it is and how we celebrate, it's open to all. And all my ads say that.
Anyone else on this side?
No,
This
I'm
side?
good.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh.
Just real quick, today's the last day to vote for Yavapai County for the upcoming election.
Mr. Best?
I'm good.
Okay.
I don't want to hide the little girl at the end.
Yeah, well, she needs to speak
I
up.
did say register to vote, right? Yeah. Last day to register to vote. Yeah, vote now. No, no, please don't.
Can I go now?
Yes, you may, sir. My apologies.
Status, none's needed. Status report by town managers of the city of Goodman or town staff members regarding town accomplishments and current or upcoming projects.
Well, Mayor, I was going to mention both the chamber mixer and the study session last week, so maybe you and I should coordinate a little better on.
Well, you can mention it
Status
again, I
updates.
don't care.
No reason to be redundant.
Okay.
But secondly, we were going to talk a little bit about our customer service. So I just have a little thing I want to read, and we have got two people in the audience we want to recognize. So last week was, Mayor and Council, last week was National Customer Service Week. All of us are customer service representatives at some level. You, the Mayor and Council, are constantly delivering customer service to the citizens you represent. That's a big commitment for which you get little or no credit or recognition. As you know, one of the big pushes the last couple of years has been an emphasis on customer service. We provided additional training to the employees on the topic, and staff has been looking at our processes to see how we can make things simpler for our customers. Recently, the council approved a subcommittee to begin looking at rewrite of the UDO, or the Unified Development Ordinance, by eliminating conflicts in the UDO and helping to streamline the development process. Another customer service benefit will be realized. Last week, we decided to put an additional focus on customer service to recognize our 100 outstanding employees who deal with both internal and external customer service on a daily basis. On Wednesday of last week, we delivered cookies to each department from the council, thanking them for their service to our community. Secondly, we had a little contest where we asked employees to share a customer service story. We had 8 submittals. For each submittal, we threw the story writer's name into a hat for a prize. And Marilee, you're here. There she is. I'm happy to announce that Marilee Easton from the police department has won our contest. She submitted a story about Officer Sellers, who's also here. Officer Sellers, if he would come up. Who had assisted a person who thought her rescue dog had gotten stolen from her vehicle. The dog had been severely abused, and the new dog owner was very concerned about the dog going through additional trauma. Officer Sellers took the lady's report, and being sensitive to the lady's distress, he even gave her a hug. Thankfully, the dog was returned safely to the owner, and she wrote a nice email to the police department praising Officer Sellers. Thank you, Officer Sellers, for bringing a little human to the situation, and thank you to Marilee for submitting this customer service story. Marilee is winning a $50 gift certificate to Safeway for submitting the story, and Officer Sellers is winning a $25 gift certificate. I'd like to thank all the employees who submitted customer service stories, and thank you for being outstanding employees for our community.
Do you have anything else, town manager?
No, sir.
Okay. Let's go on to consent agenda. All these items listed below are considered to be routine, may be enacted by one motion, and any council member may request to remove an item from the consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. Anything you'd like to remove?
No.
Anything to be removed?
Nope.
Okay. Ms. Lewis, would you read the consent agenda, please?
It's a lot shorter than your proclamations.
Yeah, I'm not reading anything else.
6A,
Yeah.
consideration and possible action to approve purchase of a John Deere tractor from RDO Agriculture Equipment Company for the police training facility. 6B, consideration and possible action to accept the September 19, 2017 study session minutes. And C, consideration and possible action to accept the September 26, 2017 regular meeting minutes.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda items as read.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Let's go on to the action items. The council may vote to recess the public meeting and hold an executive session on any item on this agenda pursuant to ARS 43103A3 for the purpose of discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney. Executive sessions are not open to the public. No action may be taken in executive session. Let's go to item A. Consideration and possible action to approve the Third Amendment to wireless communications site lease with Sun State Tower 3 LLC. Ms. Smiley. Hello,
Yes. Yes.
this is your item, ma'am.
Okay, Mayor, members of the council, this item was brought to our attention by the owner of the cell towers at the town hall. The original agreement, the lease, says that when a wireless service provider locates their facility on the town hall site, the rent will begin at $700 a month. Well, they've not been successful in finding a wireless service provider to locate on the tower, but they have recently been approached by a wireless internet provider, which I didn't realize there was a difference, but there is. Wireless service providers are the major carriers like Verizon and T-Mobile, who have full service, but mostly cell phone service. The wireless internet providers have smaller facilities. They generally pay lower rents for putting their facilities on a tower like this. And so after they were approached by this wireless internet provider to locate on the town's tower, they wanted to move forward, but they didn't want to move forward if they were going to have to pay the $700 in rent, because they're not even going to get that from the wireless internet provider. So I worked with them and we came up with an amendment that amends the lease to clarify that the wireless service providers mentioned in the lease are these major carriers, and that if a wireless internet provider locates on the tower at Town Hall, it will not start the $700 a month rent. Then there's another provision that says that any wireless internet provider who locates on the either tower will pay $150 a month to the town. So if this wireless internet provider, after the lease is amended, if the wireless internet provider, who is a company from Michigan called Speed Connect, does end up locating on the town's two towers, it will mean $300 a month in rent to the town. So we think that was a pretty good compromise. And then, of course, if a wireless service provider, T-Mobile, Verizon, Sprint, does choose to locate on the town's tower at Town Hall, then they will pay the $700 a month rent. So we recommend approval.
Town manager, do you have something?
No, just that we had talked about it at staff level and we approved it. We agreed.
Okay. Questions this side?
Phyllis, have we checked into this and done our due diligence that this is a fair and equitable way to go on this as far as an industry standard?
Yes, we have,
Okay, thank you.
and it is.
Okay.
You said?
I read it, okay.
Okay. Is there a motion?
I make a motion to approve the Third Amendment to the wireless communication site lease with Sun State Towers III LLC.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. We do not have an executive session, so,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
is there a
I
second?
second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All- We are adjourned. Thank you. Thank you, folks, for coming, and thank you.
Bye, guys. See you in
Night, fellas.
Bye.
Good night, Phyllis.
Hello, how are we doing?